In problem 1, we're given a random sample of 11 account balances. The 11 account balances are shown right here. They're in dollar values. The first question wants us to compute the number of unique samples of 11 that are possible. For this, we have to use the combinations rule. The combinations rule is from chapter 4. We can access the combinations formula by going to my teaching website and then scrolling down to PowerPoint 4. After we open that up, we see an example of an application of combinations rule. The equation that we want to use is right here. So I'm going to copy this equation into Excel. So this is the combinations formula. And factorial means multiply an integer n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times n minus 3, yada, 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 all the way down to 1. So one way to do this is to first find out how big the population is. The population is 661, and the sample sizes are 11. So I'm going to go ahead and type the population size, which was 61. 61. The sample sizes are all 11. So if we apply this equation here, we write equal 61, or fact 61 divided by 11 factorial. We divide that again by factorial, and this time we got to subtract 61 from 11. 61 minus 11. And then we hit enter. I'm going to format this a different way. We just go number with no decimal places. That's one way to get the number of unique samples of size 11 from a population of 61. Another way to do it is to use the combinations function in Excel, and that's equal combin, and then the first number is the larger of the two, it's the population size. The second number is the sample size, and you should get the same thing, which we do. After I format it, we'll see that with the same number. I'm going to copy that, paste that into Cengage now. Okay, the next problem is to calculate the sample mean. The sample mean is the point estimate of mu. And mu in this case is the mean account balance for the bank's customers. Mu is something we can't know. We can estimate it with X bar. X bar is the mean of a sample, in this case, a random sample. So we're going to copy the data up here and paste that into Excel. Now, all these numbers are in one cell. See that we have that. These are all in one cell. We want to separate the numbers out. So the best way to do that is to go to Data, Text to Columns. Click on that option, hit Next, and then comma, space, and then you can do $sign if you want. Then hit Finish. So here's our random sample of size 11. Okay, to get the point estimate of the population mean, we need to calculate x bar, the mean of the sample. To get the mean of the sample, we take the average, and the command in Excel is equal average, parenthesis. And then you just highlight the values. So the sample mean is $497.91. And in the problem, I specify 2 decimal places. So we're going to copy this and paste that into Excel. The next thing we need to do is calculate the point estimate for sigma squared. Sigma squared is the population variance of the account balance for the bank's customers. We cannot know sigma squared, but we can estimate it with the sample variance. Since we already have the data pasted into Excel, all we have to do now is type VAR for variance dot S. The S stands for sample. So this is the sample variance. And then we highlight the data, and we get sample variance to 5 decimal places, but I'm only asking for 2 decimal places. So we're going to copy that and paste that back into Cengage Now. Now notice the units of the sample mean, x bar, are in dollars. The units of the sample variance are in dollars squared, which is why we prefer the standard deviation. And in part D, we want the point estimate of sigma, the population standard deviation of the account balance for the bank's customers. We cannot know sigma, so we collect a random sample, in this case of 11 things, and we calculate the sample standard deviation for that for those 11 things. The sample standard deviation is denoted S. So all we have to do here is take the square root of the sample variance. Square root. So we type equal SQRT. SQRT stands for square root. Then we have a parenthesis. Then we just click on the variance of the sample and then hit enter. We need the sample standard deviation in 2 decimal places. Then we're going to copy that back into Cengage Now. And this is in dollars. So then we can check my work, and we should get green check marks everywhere, which will make us feel really cool. And we do. We get green check marks everywhere.